So you're from Topsfield,
Mhm.
and tell us about growing up in Massachusetts and now full circle opening up an office in Boston and Massachusetts.
Well, this is a huge full circle moment for me. Never in my wildest dreams did I think, as a kid who grew up in the North Shore of Boston, we grew up in a little bit in North Andover, and then really settled down in Topsfield, that one day I would go on to enter the real estate business, and then start a real estate brokerage based in New York City, and then one day open up as our 15th state, Massachusetts, and headquarter in Boston. So it's a little bit surreal. It's a little of a pinch me moment, but I'm just really excited to be kind of coming back home a little bit.
What's your favorite memory of the North Shore?
My first kiss, probably. I mean, that's a vague question.
Yeah,
Um,
or like what's your favorite Massachusetts?
yeah,
What do you think of when you think of home?
Masconomet Regional Junior High School, seventh grade, Stairway to Heaven, that final song. I think her name was Kendall. Yeah, that was probably my favorite memory. Everything's downhill from there. I'm just kidding. You know what? No, we grew up on a farm. I don't think it's a farm anymore. I think since my parents sold that house in the early 2000s, it's been turned into a subdivision of some sorts up on Hill Street in Topsfield. Um, but the people were great. But some of my best memories were hanging out at the house and the farm, and building tree forts and hiking and all that, as well as going to the Topsfield Fair. And one of my best, most recent memories is coming back, seeing my brothers, my older brothers in Boston. My younger brother is in Walpole. He just opened a gym called Lifted Fitness and Performance in Walpole. So I was most recently there at one of his openings, which was cool.
Cool. And what made you want to come back to Boston? Is it another market? Was it something special to you? Is it a money market?
Boston is an integral part of the United States. Um, it's not the smallest city. It's not the biggest city. It's one of the most important cities. I think not just at an American level, but at a global level as well. I could have opened up our Boston operation when we started the company 5 years ago, but I wanted to wait until we could do it absolutely right and do it perfect. And 2026 provides that time now. I think it completes our East Coast expansion so that we can service clients coming out of Boston who are going into different markets up and down the East Coast, or moving out west, or even going overseas. Our platform has over 45,000 real estate agents in 133 countries. So we do service transactions all over the globe now. But it is also a coming home moment for me, where we can really work with people who are based in Boston, want to work in and around Boston. And I think it's a great place for us to plant our first flag in the state of Massachusetts, where we have a lot of agents in Rhode Island, a lot of agents in Connecticut, New York, obviously, as we start to move further west into the state. There's a lot of Massachusetts.
And everyone knows you from Million Dollar Listing and owning Manhattan. All right, is this brokerage going to be open to people buying their first home, or is this open to millionaires? Who's going to be a client of yours in this office?
We work with everybody who is qualified to buy, rent, sell, or develop real estate. We work on the residential side. We also work on the commercial side. We also do a lot of multifamily here. So we represent developers and tenants, right, of homes for rent. I'd say what we're most known for across all the TV shows is the luxury space. I think we definitely excel in luxury, which is a different number per market, but that's 3 million, 10 million, 20, 30, 40, $50 million, and working with developers hand in hand. So something I'm really excited to be doing kind of in greater Boston is to be working with home builders who are building singular spec homes, kind of new development properties, across larger acreage, as well as, small, medium, and larger towers. But everybody can work with Serhant. Not every agent, we're pretty selective, but in terms of consumers and customers looking to buy, rent, and sell great real estate, now you have to come to Serhant.
And what's your one piece of advice to a couple or a family looking for a home right now, whether it's the Boston market or what have you? What's just like your sage advice?
I mean, I'm biased, but my sage advice is you've got a job, ideally, right? If you're buying a home, usually, you should do what you do best, and you should work with a professional who does what they do best. You wouldn't operate on your own sole shoulder, right? If you broke it. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or rent a home, work with a trusted agent who has hyper local experience with boots on the ground in the market or markets that you're looking for. Not necessarily with the person with the biggest resume. You want the person who's going to really, really work and be hungry for you, who then has global influence on top of them, which is what Serhant provides. We work with the best agents on the ground, and then we give them global influence so our properties sell faster and for more money than all of our competition.
How has the real estate market changed in the world of like, I know the percentage and all that? Do you guys work on the like percentage thing? Do you guys enter an agreement? How has that changed in the world of, that post that huge landmark real estate decision?
Mm-hmm. Um, since the NAR commissions lawsuit, which is what you're talking about, the world has only just gotten more transparent, which we were a huge proponent of. I know there were a lot of our competitors who were up in arms about kind of that settlement and what was going down, but we've always been, at least on my side, um, uh, a firm that is led with transparency. You want buyers to understand what all of the costs are. You want sellers to understand what all of the costs are and who is representing who. I don't think that's a crazy thing to ask for. So we've always operated that way at this company. Now we legally have to operate that way, which is fine for us, but is really, really great for the rest of the industry because it brings the industry forward, right? More collaborative, more transparent. As far as commission fees, not a whole lot has changed. Remember, commissions in the United States anyway are not set by law, right? They're set by supply and demand. When you have a lot of homes for sale, sellers want to stand out. And one of the ways you can stand out is by creating more incentive. If there's really, really no homes for sale and there's really low supply for a massive demand, then you as a client can work for paying less money if you want to. But usually you get what you pay for. I think statistically over the United States, we've actually seen commission percentages go up. Sometimes that's what happens when you have class action lawsuits. It puts everything into the forefront, and then it's all anyone talks about, for better or for worse.
And tell us about the power of social media. Do you think you could have the business today that you would have without social media, or tell us about like how you use it, how you utilize it?
Social is a blessing and a curse. I would not be here today if it were not for my ability to put out our message to an incredibly large audience organically, entertainingly, um, uh, 24 hours a day, all around the world. But you have to understand what you're using it for, right? Like I spin a media flywheel for our company all day, every day. Netflix, well, it used to be Bravo, but Netflix now, for the past couple of years with our owning Manhattan, that hits one decision maker at the dinner table. I'm doing the news with you, right? LinkedIn, Forbes, the writing that we do here, and kind of going across thought leadership that hits another decision maker at the dinner table. Social is oftentimes a big part of the glue because it's hitting either a kid, an analyst, right, an interior designer, maybe one of the other decision makers, but oftentimes it kind of completes that wheel. So when a family is making a decision as to who to work with to buy or sell a home, they all have a relationship to our brand. And if they have a relationship to our brand, just imagine what will happen when we list your home for sale. If we can do that for ourselves, we can do that for everybody. We sell more homes through YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Redbook in China, than any other firm in the United States does combined across platforms. Because with the click of a button, we can take a house in Brookline, right, a house in Topsfield, and we can put it in front of 10 million qualified people. That would cost so much money at any other real estate firm, and we get to do it organically. And it's just a superpower that we have that is completely unfair to the marketplace, but it's completely fair to all of our clients.
Awesome. I know we're against the clock here. Let's talk Patriots.
Yeah.
You have talk about your love of Patriots, your predictions for Sunday, and maybe some of the swag you got.
So I was born in Texas, grew up a little bit Long Island, but really kind of when sports became a big part of my life is when we settled down outside Boston. And so my earliest football memories, were really watching, Drew Bledsoe And watching that game against the Jets and watching this new guy, number 199, Tom, come out and, take the team. And so I literally, I was at the Super Bowl in Houston on February 5th, 2017, greatest comeback of all time. So this helmet, I shouldn't even be touching it, but I wanted to show it to you. This, amongst other memorabilia, some footballs, etc., sit in my office and in our clubhouse here in New York City, which for New York sports fans isn't great. But I don't really care because Boston for the win. And so I'm a big fan of Drake May and the entire team right now. Vrabel's crushing it. It's such a cool story to see. Most teams have singular dynasties and then they disappear for 30 years. What makes the DNA of a team like the Patriots so incredible is that they're right back there at the top, right? They haven't been to the championship game since Brady, and now they're back with the next generation. Totally different team, same ownership, which gives me a lot to think about as a CEO and a founder now of our own company, right? The buck stops with the owner. And a lot of times when football teams, sports teams don't advance year after year after year, and all they do is they release players, they fire the coaches. They do that because they can't fire themselves. And sometimes they should. So teams that have not seen the level of wins that a team like the Patriots are, I think, continuing to see here, should look into ownership. Sometimes you should sell and you should move on. Like everyone watching this right now, if you're looking to sell your home, you should sell and you should call us.
Very good. You got a prediction for Sunday's game score?
I don't have a points prediction. I've never, I'm not as risky that way, but I think the Patriots will win. I was talking to Jarrett actually, who I know through social a little bit. I've been a fan of his when he was on the Patriots. I sent him a note, when it got released that Bo went down with the ankle injury, and they said, "Hey man, big week coming up. We'll be rooting for you." So I root for the individual players, but I think if I had to bet, and I'm not a betting man, having Drake in the entire kind of starting lineup against a potential, but also incredibly amazing backup quarterback, I think is going to be a lot to handle. So I think the Patriots will walk away. That said, I also remember how devastated I was when Nick Foles came and spanked us. That wasn't supposed to happen either. So do your job, show up ready, and you play to the final second.
Awesome. Appreciate your time. I hear you're going to be in Boston. Let us know. We'd love to have you at BZ in studio, and good luck on this next venture. And we appreciate you taking the time out.
Thanks, man.